This is Jess Branas, and you are listening to Loose Lips with Avelli and Tim Moss.
Hey, Tim Moss.
Oh, Avelli, how are you?
I am good. I feel like we haven't seen each other forever.
I know. How have you been?
I am good. The holidays are creeping up.
I know. They're creeping like a man in a trench coat with nothing underneath. Very creepy. They're creeping.
I like those holidays. Pushing and shoving and flashing.
Yes.
Well, everybody, you are listening to Loose Lips.
Oh, our lips are loose.
Yes, they are, Tim. And they're getting a little bit chilly out there, too.
Yeah, right? Oh, my God. Where did this come from? Well, December. That does happen.
Yeah, we had some flurries.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really? Well, I think we did, too, but I didn't see them. I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was driving home. Where was I driving home from? I don't even remember.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember nothing anymore.
I don't either. I can't remember. It was so weird because this song came on the other day, and I was like, "Oh, from the 1980s," and I remember every word, every lyric, but I can't remember what I had for dinner last night.
Yeah, don't ask. Don't ask. It's bad when you start forgetting your sex partners too.
Yeah. Well, like I ever knew them.
Yeah. Speaking of sex, Tim.
Oh, who is our sponsor?
Uberlube.
Oh, I love Uberlube.
Right? And look at they come in amazing different sizes.
And
large.
If you use Uberlube, you will come in many different sizes too.
Yeah. And this should last me, a week. And they come in travel sizes.
Yes.
And
for the whore on the go.
Look at the And just a few other things, Tim, that I didn't realize that athletes actually use Uberlube too. Did you know this?
I'm sure many of them do, even though they're costed.
What are you doing with that baseball bat? So they use Uberlube as an effective and long-lasting anti-chafing.
Ah, okay.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either. I didn't know that's what they call it these days.
Yeah, right. Friction.
No,
Shelley Winters. Shelley Winters could have used Uberlube between the bombs. Right.
But it is. It's so it moisturizes. It really does. It's a great.
Yeah, it does. Yep. Mm-hmm. And of course, salons. They use it to finish hair and prevent the frizzies.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So enough about Uberlube. Enough about Uberlube, Timmy. Yeah. We are busting out all over the world.
Right? Isn't this incredible?
Yes, and I want to give a couple of shout out to our new listeners in the U.S. Like Las Vegas, Nevada, New York City. We got so many listeners there. Great Neck and Sarasota, New York. West Mifflin in Pennsylvania. Isn't that West Mifflin? Isn't that where The Office takes place?
Scranton.
Or no?
I
it's Scranton.
Where's
West Mifflin?
Next to East Mifflin, maybe.
Okay. Wait, we are also in North Hills, California, Salem, Oregon, just to name a few.
I know, but we've got some international too that I want to give a shout out to. To returning listeners and some new ones in the UK, in Germany, Chile, Argentina, Japan, the Netherlands, and Malaysia. Hi, everybody.
Yes.
Yay.
We are traveling around the country abroad.
We're getting around.
Oh, my gosh. We are going to dive right into our guest, Tim.
Oh, I love our guest. I love her.
I know, and I'm excited. So our guest not only is a radio personality, she is the author of 2 best-selling books, Seeking Her, Knowing You, and 0 to 90. She can also be heard on her successful worldwide podcast where she hosts Drinks with Jess, which will be creating her signature drink tonight.
Yes.
Gulp, gulp, gulp.
Yes, but she is also a powerhouse leader in our LGBTQ community, which I'm so grateful for. And I mean, she's made so many appearances, like hosting and speaking at Pride events around the country and various universities and colleges. Also, she was named one of the 100 empowering women in the world. And we are very proud to call her our friend. Please welcome the wonderful Jess Branas.
What's up, guys?
Ah,
You are the
finally.
only two guys that I would wake up in the middle of the night for. Well, it's
Oh.
not the middle of the night, but
Close.
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 In my world, it is. At least
It-
for the past
J-
2 years.
Japan listeners, it's the middle of the night.
There you go.
There.
And by the way, West Mifflin is in Allegheny County near Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why was I thinking that was where The Office was filmed? So it is Scranton. You're right.
hmm
But where's West Mifflin?
It's Allegheny County, so it's
But
West
it's-
Pennsylvania.
But it's
on
on a
the other
TV
side.
show.
Who knows?
Oh, I'm gonna
Like
find
that.
out.
West Mifflin's a little town outside of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Jess, are you originally from Pennsylvania?
Oh yeah, so I grew up in Lancaster in
Okay.
cow country,
Okay.
but I grew up in the suburbs, so I'm
Yeah.
not Amish, but our cleaning lady was, so it's real cool.
Yeah.
And you guys know I live in Philadelphia now,
Absolutely.
but I actually went to school in Pittsburgh. I did my undergrad at University of Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
hmm Yeah,
So you
So-
know, like one end of Pennsylvania to the other end.
absolutely.
You know your ends.
I do. I know both of them.
So what do you prefer? Like Pittsburgh now, thinking about everything with the political atmosphere.
Oh,
what
well,
was
I mean-
more?
Pittsburgh and Philadelphia are both like the Democratic parts because they're the cities, and then you have people say Pennsylvania in between.
Yeah.
I mean it's both are great. Pittsburgh is a lot colder and too far
Mm.
from the beach,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but the town is great. The people are nice. I mean, I never had a bad time there. I was drunk
Okay.
half the time, but or stoned. But either way, I was in college.
Yeah.
Everything's fun in college.
Of
Right.
course.
So no, so I do like both. I lived in Miami for a little bit, and I absolutely love that there because that's where my
Wow.
father's from. And yeah, that's it.
See?
Came back up here for closeness to the family because they're getting older, and
Yeah.
that's that.
See, I never knew that about you. I never knew you were in Miami at one point too.
Yeah, 1999 to the 2000s in there.
Mhm.
Did you ever
What were you
frequent a
doing
place
in Miami?
called Twist?
Do I what?
Did you ever frequent a place called Twist on Washington Avenue?
Actually, I probably did. I went up to Fort Lauderdale a lot, and I was usually just on Ocean Drive. I mean, I was usually just in South Beach all the time because I was like 10 minutes from South
Yeah.
Beach.
Oh, I
Now,
love it.
what were you doing? What were you doing in Miami? Were you working?
Well, yeah, I was. So I took a job actually in recruitment and then finance. This is the sad part of my Miami visit. I left, I graduated from college, moved down there for a job because I was a Spanish major, so I spoke several languages, so I figured might as well capitalize on it. And I always wanted to live there. I originally was a music major, and everybody knows I love Gloria Stefan come hell or high water. That girl is just my musical idol. I love her.
Mhm.
And I actually interviewed with her studio, her recording studio, Crescent Moon Studio, and I ended up getting offered like a job there.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
Yeah. And the same day, because I switched from being a music major to a Spanish major, because my parents back then, they said, you need something a little bit more.
Fall back on. Yeah.
Right.
And so I did that. So I got both job offers in the same day. My parents were like, yeah, but music's really hard. I'm like, I'm going to do sound engineering. And they didn't understand. At the time, they didn't understand. And I think that's something that I want people to know. Sometimes your parents think something's better for you, but they just don't understand that you can have a career in the thing that you want.
Absolutely.
And now it goes like, right back in a circle because now I'm on radio and podcasts all the time, doing my own sound engineering, and I produce shows all over the country for other people.
See, that's great. Now, the Gloria Estefan studio, I think that was on It was on one of the main 3 drags in South Beach. It was either
No.
Washington-
Her restaurants were on
Ah,
Ocean Drive.
That's it.
But her studio was on Bird Avenue in Coral
Okay.
Gables.
Got it.
Yeah, so that was
Yep.
my dream job, and I didn't take my dream job back in my 20s. Where could I have been now, kids?
Well, you could have been doing the conga for all we know.
And I would.
Oh, God. She still looks amazing too, by the way.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
Fantastic. And her daughter, actually, I have been trying to get a hold of her daughter, Emily, because she's part of the LGBT, and she is an amazing singer. Like, her voice is crazy. Like, really, really good. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll try and get her on.
Cool.
Love
Absolutely.
it.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us a little bit about Drinks with Jess, your show.
That you guys have been on and did the Christina slide in for me.
Yeah.
That had to be one of the best times I've had. I don't think I've laughed so hard on that show in 8 years of doing the show.
It was. We were just ourselves that night, which was wonderful.
I
We
got
were
you
talking
drunk.
about stuff.
Now that's what it was. Was
You
she
did.
fixed drinks
Yeah.
for us?
You loosened us
Absolutely.
up, as they would say,
Yes, I
Mhm.
did. Yes, I did.
and you
But-
made us here a kamikazes.
Yeah, I made you kamikaze. You know what, though? I should have done the chocolate martinis.
Oh,
We'll do that next time.
next time.
Next time. But yeah, so Drinks with Jess, we've been running for 8 years. I was one of the first LGBT podcasts.
Uh-huh.
So I'm very fortunate that, I still have listeners after all this time.
Mhm.
But it switched over the years, because originally I was still doing live radio at the time, and we were going on a hiatus, and I had my first book that had already launched, so that was going great. And I said, well, it's time to bring Drinks with Jess back, because originally it was a blog back in like 2010.
Uh-huh.
And I was a high school teacher at the time, and kids started reading it because they found it.
Oh.
And of course, the administration says you got to shut that down. I'm like, I'm not shutting it down, because
Yeah.
Right.
I don't do
Right.
anything that people tell me to do.
Right.
And curse of the parents, I guess. After losing my dream job, I'm like, I'm not
right.
So, and the principal hated me anyway. He was just trying to get at me. So, I launched my first book in 2014. I did a whole bunch of guest spots on radio all over the country. And the station in Philadelphia, one of the stations said, we got so much email on you, we want you to stay. And I'm like, all right. So I stayed there. And as I stayed there, I was like, you know what? I'm bringing Drinks with Jess back. Like, screw this. Like, podcasts are now not really a thing yet, but they're kind of a thing.
Mhm.
They were starting up. Yeah.
Yeah, they were starting up. And I'm like, radio, podcast, same thing. So there you go. But it's been a nice ride. I mean, I've had great guests on. I get to cover a lot of events.
Uh-huh.
And
I mean, seriously, talk about some of the guests that you have had on. I mean,
Yeah.
well, let's see. Between the radio station and Drinks with Jess, I mean, I've interviewed Rachel Ray was my first celebrity interview, which is great. They put me in the hot seat like real quick.
Uh-huh.
And Jamie Larita, Dawn Robinson. You guys have seen her on my show from En Vogue.
yes.
She's my favorite. I
Love
love her.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I've had a lot of different guests, political guests, Malcolm Kenyatta,
Mm.
Eric Morrison down in Delaware, who's one of the state reps. So
Yeah,
we've kind of
yeah,
switched
very-
the past couple of years to politics, because obviously that was a
Mhm.
big thing, and
Yeah.
I'm a political geek, so had to do it.
Well, let me ask you this question. Rachel Ray,
hmm
was it pre her big fame, or was it right when she was starting on the Food Network?
No, it was already.
She was in.
famous.
Gotta
Yeah,
put it
so
in right.
this was
MSNBC.
Yeah, because this was already like 2014,
Okay.
2014, 2015, and she was the main speaker and interviewee at the Pennsylvania Conference for Women.
Mm.
Right.
So I was in the press room, and like ABC is interviewing her, and CBS, and my producer comes over and she said, she's going to sit down with you. She wants to sit down with you. Like, she could choose whoever she wanted, and she sat down with me. I got the tweet of the day from her because I'm the only one who didn't ask her all the same prefabricated questions.
Right.
In fact, my producer even said, she's like, what are you going to ask her? I said, I don't know. She's like, do you know now? I was like, no. She's like, well, you're going in the seat. Are you going to tell? I said, I have no idea. So I sit down in front of her and I shake her hand. I'm like, what's up, Rach? And then, like it's nothing. We had the best conversation. And at the end, she said she loved my voice, and I still have that on tape. That's great. But no, it was fun to do, but I don't get nervous in those situations. Like, I'm sure you guys don't get nervous in those situations.
You know what it is when you're meeting somebody. If it's an idol of mine, I probably will get nervous. Like if Barbara Streisand walked in here, and I would probably forget everything I was.
You would wet yourself.
That's Ricky Martin, Tim. Barbara, maybe I'll salivate a little bit. Ricky, I'd slide off the seat of my chair. It's like, whoosh. But not Rachel Ray. Now we went to a couple of tapings of hers in the city, and I have to tell you, she is so generous. We were out in the cold, and there was a food truck out on the street, and she told everybody that was in the audience they can get anything they want out of the food truck.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I thought that was incredible.
She was very, very, very sweet. Very
not
nice.
Like Kelly Ripa.
Ah!
That bitch. Oh.
Like, oh, it's cold out here. Let me get your earmuffs.
Oh. I mean, she could stick her foot in a maraschino cherry jar and pull out 2 cherries.
Oh, I love you guys.
Dawn Robinson, like I am so impressed.
Well, so I was supposed to interview her while she was here for Pride.
Okay.
Because she's a big advocate. And we were texting back and forth, and all the timing got messed up from the time of her performance to the time that I was supposed to interview her. Like, things were just so crazy. That was actually, like, I think the last year of Pride, because, Philadelphia shut it down.
Yes.
So, so we just kept in contact, and now every once in a while we text each other, see how each other's doing. And I mean, in my eyes, everybody's just a regular person. I don't treat anybody any differently. So, like, I don't go in saying, oh, hello, Miss or Mr. So-and-so. I'm like, I'm already giving them a nickname as soon as I sit down. But that's what I want them to do for me too.
Right.
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 And
that's why, in my opinion, that's why people enjoy doing your show and talking to you, is because it's not a regular interview. You're talking to, because I have a lot of entertainers, a lot of singers and actors that after I finish interviewing them, they're like, I had so much fun with you.
Yeah, I get that too.
Because I'm talking from singer to singer or from actor to actor. Like, I'm just talking to them like a normal human being, or like a friend or a colleague or something. And that makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah. In fact, like, because I write for a magazine also, I'm so used to doing that as well. So it's like, I interviewed like Terry Nunn from Berlin, Take My Breath Away, Berlin. Yes. I'm so upset though, because I was going to have her on the show, and she kind of lost her LGBT supporter gay card when she performed at Trump's Mar-a-Lago New Year's Eve. And so did Taylor Dane. She was on my list to interview, and booted her out. No, sorry. I can't.
Taylor Dane, I have to say, another one.
I love her, but
I love her too. However, we went to go see her perform. It was 2000. I hate talking dirt on celebrities.
Well, so do I. But I'm just saying. I mean, because it was all over Twitter. You can't.
Well, this wasn't. I put it on Twitter. So she was doing a concert on Long Island. Surprise, surprise. And she was, after her show, signing autographs. And I thought, oh, wow, cool. A little meet and greet, right? And Tyrone's online, and he's waiting on this line for a long period of time. And when he finally gets up there, it's to take a picture with her. So Tyrone gives the guy his camera phone. They take the picture, and before he deletes it, he tells her $20.
A lot of people do that.
But with your own camera?
I think if it's one of those types of things, I think Britney Spears used to do that, but I think that was more of her father. Free Britney.
Yeah.
At a lot of events or like Comic-Con and stuff like that, they charge for people
Yeah.
to get their picture taken with
I
them.
should
Just
go around and
maybe
start
it is.
charging.
But
I've had people walk across the street. I've been in Philadelphia. Like I remember being outside of a bar, crowded bar, and a girl actually saw me, walked all the way across the street, and she's like, "Your drinks with Jess." She's like, "Can I take a picture?" I said, "Yeah." So we took a selfie. I said, "I'm putting this all over social media."
Yeah. $20. You just paid 60 to get in.
Yeah, but the difference is normally they would tell you before you take the picture.
Yeah, they're
Right.
supposed to tell you beforehand.
Yeah, but
Well-
I'm not. I mean, I always loved Taylor Dane, but after I interviewed her, I was kind of like, I don't really like her that much anymore.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I did. I was a big fan. I was very excited to
Same
be,
here.
going back and forth with her publicist. But then after I saw the Mar-a-Lago pictures all over Twitter, I was like, I can't do it. I can't.
Yeah.
Like, striking
Andy
that off my
Brown.
list.
Yeah,
I just, it's kind of like I'm not going to work with an advertiser or a sponsor that
Mhm.
comes out in the news as supporting something of the opposite of which I support. I can't do that to my show. I can't do that. Yeah, I can't do that to my integrity. I can't.
Anti-LGBT. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I agree.
Listen, I love football, and I boycotted watching the Eagles when Michael Vick was playing because of,
Oh, yeah, the abuse. Yeah, that was disgusting.
because of my pit bull.
Yeah, no, disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but
Totally.
I was a Taylor Dane fan, and then I met her.
Well, come on,
Okay.
Tim. Come on, you gotta come on. What happened?
No, she was just, I don't know, just very. I don't know. It was not one of my favorate interviews. It was a red carpet thing, and she was just, yeah, no, maybe. Yeah, just she didn't want to be there,
Yeah.
It's disappointing.
Yeah.
I hope it was just a bad day.
Whatever. She doesn't get another one with me.
There you go.
Can't get enough of Tim's love.
Nothing from me either. Like I said, after that Mar-a-Lago thing, that's like part of my dating repertoire. Like I asked 2 questions because my standards have now gone way low since I haven't been out in 2.5 years. So I don't even care what your age is. Like I'm not even gonna like ask how old you are. I don't even care if you're married and straight. My 2 questions are: A, are you vaccinated? And B, did you vote for Trump in either election? Because even if you changed your mind, it still leaves me to believe that there might be something wrong with you.
Right. Still, you.
I agree. I might give them a chance if they switched.
No, because
they were responsible for putting him in the first place.
History repeats itself.
Yeah.
Because we still have after effects.
I know. That's an earthquake, all right.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what's going to happen?
Jess, tell us about your 2 books. I am so interested. How did the first book even come about?
Actually, that was a dare.
Oh.
Well, so I became a what people call a dating coach, but a dating strategist. But it was totally by happenstance because, I have a good group of friends. We would go out all the time. Obviously, this is pre-Nacho. So I could actually have a life. But we used to go out all the time. I always dated like the most beautiful woman in the room. And my one of my friends said to me, and I love her to death, my friend Hope. And Hope's in her 70s now, I think. Maybe she just turned 80. I can't remember. We just celebrated a birthday with her. She can't be 80. She's too cool to be 80. She's super cool. Like she's like my idol. And she was out with us one night. And she stops me and she's like, I love watching you work a room. I was like, I should write a book. She's like, you should. I was like, okay, I'll take that as a dare. And that's what I did. So but it came after a breakup, obviously. So like once I'm out of a breakup and I get myself back together, I'm like way out and about. So this one was with my long-term partner. We lived together, everything. So I was pretty distraught for a while about the situation, and in order to do some of my healing, like I wrote like every night. I mean, I'm talking legal pad after legal pad after legal pad, and I figured so much shit out in my head and I was looking at it, but I also was calculating like everything I did to rebuild. You know, I mean, believe me, it wasn't long before I got myself back out on the town, and I was the same person that I always was. Like, I know how to attract people. I know how to talk to people. I know, like, you know, certain things. So for all those people that have problems, even starting a conversation with somebody, you know, especially with women in the LGBT, oh, I need to find it. Okay. If you need to find one, this is how you do it.
Right.
And so that's where the first one came out. But the second book, 0 to 90, because obviously we have the big U-Haul joke. It's about keeping yourself grounded and not getting, number one, becoming more of what that person wants rather than becoming you. So it keeps you centered.
Right.
But it also emphasizes, listen, in the first 90 days, you should be dating around. Because most people, what they do is they have 1 or 2 or 3 dates. By the way, Tim, I want to know about your dates, because I remember you were going to be on your third. But but this way you keep your options open to find somebody who you would more rather spend your time with, number one, and that you're not jumping into anything and then lose it and get heartbroken. So yeah, so those did really well. My third one was supposed to come out like 2 years ago, and I'm still not done writing it yet, because it was I do a lot of research for my books. So the third one is actually comparing, contrasting people's dating styles to their financial styles as far as investing, to see, you know, are you a risk taker? Are you really looking for the type of relationship that you say you are? Because, like, I sat there for a long time saying I wanted to be settled down and married and this and that. And, like, truth be told, that's not what I want. That is not, and it can change over time, but that is certainly not what I want. Not from heartache, but, you know, there's too many people. Why do I want to stick to just one? That's like having like one Kit Kat.
Yeah.
Or like one Pringle. Like, you can't do that. So,
or just one Skittle. Like,
yeah, like
there's a whole rainbow.
Yeah, exactly. You know. Yeah, so that's where the books came from. So it's you know, it's very reflective, and I am not shy about talking about my previous relationships at all. You know, some of, like I said, some have been married, some have been divorced, some have been straight, some have been bisexual, some have been gay. I mean, so you know, I think there's just a wide variety of situations that people can pull from.
Because I think that a lot of people, once they get burned, because I know for years I got brutalized, and I had walls, thick ass walls all around me. Nobody was going to get in and hurt me again. But in doing that, nobody could get in to love me either. So
yeah. See, you know what's funny though? I realized it's not that I set up walls after that, because I've still gotten into relationships after that. But I'm at a point in my life where I like to go and do things. I don't want, at this point, somebody who expects to live together someday or get married, because I get to be everywhere. And it's also very hard to find somebody that's, you know, that they can go to events with me, because a lot of times they may not feel as secure as I do, being as, you know, personable on the personality side. You know what I mean? So that's really difficult. But you know, it's been 2.5 years. I have never been celibate this long.
Wow.
I think since I'm a kid. Well, pandemic.
Well, that's
this is not by choice, boys. No,
I know.
Not by choice.
You know, you should really open up a dating site.
Yeah, well, I had the Dating Pool podcast, but I actually stopped. I stopped recording that a while ago, but I use that just to publicize my books. But I was kind of thinking about maybe pushing that way, because God knows I own enough businesses. I might as well own another one.
Yeah, and I could be your first customer.
Okay.
Seriously,
I'll give you a discount.
You have to find me love.
Okay, I could try.
I need to stop, because I'm a guy who goes after the bad boys.
I know, and you also like being groped by a lesbian.
My first time.
I know, it's very exciting.
Jess Branas. I should have had you friggin' autograph my ass.
Next time I see you, I'll do that.
Yes.
I think it's having a
Show's over. I'm coming over.
I love it.
Well, now,
go ahead.
No,
Go.
you go ahead and continue.
I said, but it's true. All the, especially now with the pandemic, people don't know even how to be social anymore.
Yeah, they're so used to everything
Absolutely.
online.
Yeah,
Like,
I've noticed,
Getting face to face.
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed, especially here in New York, just in general, I have my own theory on this, is during lockdown and during the pandemic, people were at home, they were in their own environment, and they made their own rules.
Yeah.
And now they're starting to reemerge and get back out into society, and you're there on the train and they're like, wait, that's not my rule. You're not playing by my rule,
Right.
and there's a lot of aggression and rage and hostility that's flying around. People have just forgot what it's like to be out and about. And they forgot that we all maintain the rules of the street or the rules of the subway or the rules of being out in public. And they've just gotten so used to making their own rules and expect everybody to follow it. And that's not the case.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Absolutely true. Plus, we have a whole new line of assholery out there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they took it up a notch.
Oh,
Yeah.
they kicked it up a couple of notches.
Yeah.
But it will calm down eventually.
Absolutely.
Once we can get things kind of rolling again. But I mean, I remember going when I finally walked into a grocery store again, right after the first big wave, and I'm always talking to people in the grocery store. I'm always talking to the hot girl in front of me, or whatever. And I went to the grocery store and nobody was around, and I was like, okay, I can shop by myself and not chat with anybody. And then I'm chatting to these two senior citizen ladies who are sitting there struggling with their card. I'm like, here, I'll help you. I was so excited to actually talk to a person.
Be personable, yeah.
And then I finally got to a point where I felt comfortable going to the doctor's office because I needed to get, a physical. And so I finally went in, and I get into the elevator, and there's this girl in the elevator, and she looks at me and I look at her. So I just, I press my button, she presses her button. And normally I would say what floor? And she looks at me and I look at her and I said, well, this is odd. And the door rings and I just exit stage left. It was
right.
Because
that's right.
I didn't remember how to, I didn't remember how to talk to people.
Right.
It was so weird.
I find being goofy. You know what's so funny is, speaking of you talking to somebody in the supermarket, isn't this funny? If I could see somebody who is really good looking, and I pick them apart. Well, duh, you, Jess, alone. Hello. But I could be online and this handsome guy will be behind me, and he has 3 items, and I have a shopping cart full. And I'm thinking, why do I want to date a guy who didn't go down to the 10 items or less? Right? I'm these are things I think about, and what happened to me? As I get older, I become so picky.
But that's okay. You're allowed to be.
Yeah,
it's because we have less life ahead of us than we had before us.
Yeah.
If you think about it, timing. So why waste your time?
Our priorities shift too.
Yeah.
I don't have time for fuckery right now.
Right.
I'm done. I don't have time for this stupid shit.
Tim is the best, especially if he gets scammed on his phone.
Oh, I just screenshotted a thing to him. I don't even remember what I said or what I did, but I do that all the time.
Fuck off, scammers. There you go.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they text me and say, oh, so there's been reason to believe that your Citibank account has been thing and blah blah blah. And I said, I don't even have a Citibank account. Fuck off, motherfucker. I don't have time for it.
Yeah, I don't really deal with too much bullshit.
But also with the online dating, there's so much of it in the gay community.
There is,
especially the older. They prey on, the catfishers and the scammers.
Yeah.
Well, it's I have a friend who's up in New York, in the New York area, not LGBT, but and he goes through a matchmaker. Right. And some portions you pay a little bit, and then there's the VIP package. And he went out
where they'll hook you up with somebody who actually has a job.
Yeah. Ooh.
VIP.
Well, maybe. But what he went out with this woman, and then he's calling me, and he's like, but I don't, he's like, she's looking for somebody to like settle down with, and I'm like, it was the first date. Like, she's saying all this stuff. He's like, and she's asking about my salary and my expenses and all this stuff, and I'm like, okay, too much.
Yeah.
And I said, I said, how did they match you up with her? Like, you don't want to live with somebody or get married again. And I said, didn't they ask you that when they brought you on to be able to match you up with people about what you're looking for in the future? He's like, no. And I said, well, they're making a lot of money for not doing anything.
Yeah.
Like, I could have done it better than that. You're right. I should own a business with them.
Well, he obviously didn't pay for the
and I'll sell my books through the business.
Dating with Jess.
Yeah.
You can make so many things up. Drinking with Jess, dating with Jess.
Your drink. What's your drink?
Well, we got to make a drink up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
We're going to make a drink. We're going to get to that segment too now. We have a segment, Jess. It's called "What the Hell Did I Just Put in My Mouth?"
I love it.
It's usually sometimes something savory, but today, in honor of Drinks with Jess, we are going to have your specialty cocktail, and we're going to make it on the show today.
Yes.
All right.
I have my.
I cheated. I already made it, so I'll just watch you guys make
it. I'm almost done with mine.
Oh, well, listen, I have the ingredients. You tell me what I need to do, and I'm going to make it. I just don't know how to measure.
Okay. You don't know how to measure?
Glass?
Well, I don't have a shot glass.
Okay, so just count to one. Just kind of eye a half an ounce.
Yeah, just
go. What am I doing first?
Okay. Do you have rum?
Yes.
Okay. So you're gonna it's gonna be a half an ounce of all the liquors. So just kind of count.
How about a capful? Is that enough?
I'll eyeball it.
Yeah, eyeball it. Half an
Let
ounce.
me eyeball it. All right, let me Lindsay Lohan it.
Oh God. When I eyeball it, it turns into like 4 drinks in one. Okay, so
I got the rum.
So you got half an ounce of rum.
Yep.
You need half an ounce of vodka.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my God, because I don't drink that much anymore. But when we were in Philadelphia and you made those drinks, oh my God, they were so good.
They went down fast.
So powerful.
All right. What's next? The gin?
Yeah, you could do the half an ounce of gin.
Okay.
I just hope he's mixing this right, or else it's not going to taste good.
Well, I'm just doing like little bits here and there.
Okay. And then you half an ounce of triple sec.
Okay.
Now, what exactly is triple sec? That's the sweet, right?
It's kind of orangey.
Orangey.
Little orangey, sweet and orangey.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think I did good on that one.
I don't know. That was
it sounded like you were pouring a lot.
Yeah. Well, look, this is what I have so far.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay, it's clear. That's good. You want just a splash of cranberry.
Oh, okay.
Just a splash.
Just like bam.
Yeah, just splash. There you go.
That was a good splash.
That was a good splash. It sounded perfect.
Am I man enough for you, Tim? Now.
and you want 4 ounces of
the same amount of.
Yep, your pineapple juice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you something interesting about this drink after you make it and taste it.
4 ounces.
I have mine here.
4 ounces, about half a cup.
And my light rum was not so light.
Yeah, I could see that.
It was dark.
Okay.
It was pretty dark.
Here we go.
Okay. It looks like you've done that before.
Yeah, see, you know what? If Tom was up here. Did you just put lube on that?
Well, I was telling him it looks like he's done that before.
Well,
all right, here we go.
It's thicker than the lube.
Is it supposed to go like that?
No, your cap's not working well, and when you turn it over like that, the ice jams up the
so maybe do it at the side instead of all the way over.
Yeah, you're jamming up the hole with the ice.
This might be 2 parts.
How many times have I been told that?
I know.
Hold on.
Yeah, there you go.
There,
Do
there.
it the real way.
Okay.
I hope he made this right.
I'm so excited. You don't think I did it right?
I don't know. We'll find out. If it tastes
Cheers.
bad, you didn't.
Well, why
Cheers.
don't we? Does it look like the right color?
Yeah.
Not as much as mine.
Not as much as Try it.
Well, let's cheers to Nathan James, our
Yes.
friend.
I was gonna talk about Nathan in the next segment.
Yep.
Oh my God, that's really good, actually. Oh, yum.
This is really good.
And what is it called, kids?
Sex with Jess.
That's it. It's called Sex with Jess.
And the drink
here's-
is good too.
And here's the funny part. So I don't know if you guys, well, you guys probably do know this, but drinking pineapple juice keeps all of your juices clean and tasting good. So
I agree. I like pineapple cum.
Mhm. Yeah, pineapple cleans out your system.
Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Thank you, Jess, so much.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Oh,
This is
You're welcome.
amazing. Yum.
Yes, you
yum.
mentioned Nathan James. He's a
Yes.
good, dear friend of all of ours.
Yes.
Works for NBC Out and writes for Huffington Post and just a lot of different news organizations. And he has been a regular guest on your show, especially over the past several years, because both of you are so politically minded.
Mm-hmm.
And I love your episodes with Nathan. Nathan. And he just a couple weeks ago suffered a minor stroke, and I think he's doing very well.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think considering.
Yeah, because you went down to visit him.
Yeah,
I went over to the hospital to see him. But we just need to wish him well, and
absolutely.
Yep,
that's
absolutely.
how it goes.
Yeah.
Cheers to Nathan.
And so tell us like some of the things that you and Nathan talk about.
Oh wow, we've covered pretty much everything. I mean, obviously the election season. I mean, the whole Trump era was just major politics. I mean, hopefully he'll be good enough to join me when the Supreme Court brings its ruling out on the abortion case that I just watched. Well, so here's the thing with Nathan and me. If something's going on, it could be like the middle of the night. We're already texting each other.
Yeah.
It's like when the Kavanaugh case was on. He's like, "Did you watch?" I was like, "Yep, I'm watching right now." And like so we know that. And I grew up in a family that, well, at first CNN came out and then MSNBC, and they are, big into watching that and making sure that they know what's going on in their country and in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And so I grew up with that. So having somebody like Nathan who, I get a little sarcastic and I tell it like it is, you know what I mean? And I put it straightforward, but he has such a mind of all the history behind it.
Oh my God.
So
he is incredible when it comes to...
he is absolutely incredible. So I always love doing those with him because I learn a lot from him. He loves coming on because of the way I conduct the show and the way I talk about things, and it really has just become so nice to do that type of work with him. But obviously, I can't always just talk about politics all the time.
Well, and the LGBT
even though I want to,
but also the LGBT community and how the politics affect it.
Oh, absolutely, and the Black community and everything.
Absolutely,
we cover it all.
And he is so precise. I mean, he was talking about this case now, challenging Roe v. Wade 2 years ago.
Oh,
he was saying that this is what they're going to do, try to overturn Roe v. Wade. Then they're coming after the LGBT.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And he's right every time.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. He is right every time.
Scary.
And you know what's funny too? Even with the COVID, with the pandemic, his numbers. Well, he was coming up with so much stuff before it even came out.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was funny because when COVID first started and we had gone into lockdown, they put us in lockdown here in Philadelphia 2 days before St. Patrick's Day, and they closed all the liquor stores. Why would you do that?
Right.
Especially where I live. Like, we're a bunch of drunks over here. So Yeah, so that was harsh. But even before that, I was already locked down in my house for like a full month and a half before we even, because my father's a doctor. And
Right.
he was like, oh, happily retired. But he's like, this is not going to be good. He's
Yeah.
like, I have been around the block
Mhm.
several decades, you
Mhm.
know. He's like, stock yourself for about 4 months at least.
Yep.
I'm bringing you masks.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
and he had me souped up by the beginning of February.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
He
Wow.
was. Yep. He was on
Yeah,
point.
he was on it.
Mhm.
He was on
Mhm.
it.
Mhm.
As soon as he
Well.
heard that first thing. And so Nathan, even back then, Nathan and I were like, oh, this is not going to be good.
No. Yeah.
You know.
No.
So,
Well,
no,
we love Nathan James. We do.
we adore him.
Absolutely.
You know, and he was so gracious to have us at his house
Yes.
when you guys got to join me
Yep.
and make me laugh all night.
Yeah,
So
that was a great Memorial Day weekend. It's one I'll never forget because
was it Memorial Day or was it Pride?
no,
Oh, it was
Memorial Day.
Was
Or
it?
July 4th.
No. It was Memorial
It
Day
was
weekend.
Memorial Day. Uh-huh.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I came out the end of May.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I came out the end of May. Yeah. Don't you go there. Mhm.
Oh, God.
Hey, Jess, are you up for playing a game with us, Jess?
I am always up for playing a game.
So Tim,
Yeah.
of course, Tim explains this very well. Go ahead, Tim.
Okay.
Tell us.
Well, the game, what's on Jess's mind.
Yes.
So basically, what we'll do is we'll give you two choices, like hot or cold,
Mhm.
but you don't answer, and we'll write. Okay, go ahead. So say hot or cold, but don't answer yet.
Hot or cold? Don't answer.
And then you tell us your answer, and we'll see if we match.
Hot.
Hot.
Yeah.
Yes!
Okay. That
Okay.
is the game.
I have a feeling you guys are going to tie on this.
I don't know. Let's see.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
we'll see.
Sally, Jesse, Raphael, or
Ooh.
Ricky Lake?
Oh.
Oh, wow.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Sally Jesse.
Bam.
Fuck!
That was hard. Ricky, but
That's
I mean,
what she said.
like, seriously, like Ricky Lake went from like Hairspray to like
Yeah,
a
right.
talk show. That's
right.
That's like, it's like the difference between Oprah and Ellen.
Mhm.
You know, I'm Oprah, not Ellen.
That was the next one. Jello shots or body shots? Okay.
Body shots.
Body shots.
Yes. See, you guys are gonna tie. Well, see,
Oh,
but
I'm
yeah,
ahead.
I have
He's
to
ahead.
clarify. When I was after college, I worked in a bar in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Before I went down to Miami, and it was a gay bar, and they used to put me on the gay bar, and it was mostly like older men, but they loved me anyway, and I had leather pants on, and they used to do body shots.
That's hot.
Yeah,
I like that. I
Yeah.
used to love body shots.
yeah.
Jello.
I really like them if I find the person attractive and if they showered, because
Yeah.
I don't like germs.
Yeah.
No germs.
Oh, now I don't want to do that anymore.
I'm just kidding. All right, continue. I got to try and get,
So we're going to go into the Me Too movement for a minute.
mhm.
Harvey Weinstein or Bill Cosby?
Oh.
Oh.
One night only, Jess. Mm.
Oh, you guys are making this so difficult. Oh. I'm gonna say Bill Cosby.
Bam.
Oh,
Wow.
Tim. You should have said Harvey. Okay, two more. This one's for you, Jess.
Okay.
Julia Roberts or Reese Witherspoon?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Is it Reese Witherspoon after Legally Blonde, or Is it Julia Roberts' Mystic Pizza?
Ooh.
Oh,
Let's say the early. So we'll do Legally Blonde and Mystic Pizza.
wow.
Yeah, I would still probably. Did you guys write your answers?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna say Reese Witherspoon.
Bam.
Wow. Now, if it was Julia Roberts in
Miss-
Pretty Woman,
Yeah.
I would have chosen Julia Roberts.
hmm
I don't think I'm going to win anyway because this is the last one. Vegetable lasagna or meat lasagna?
I love carbs. No, I would definitely go for meat.
Oh, really?
Meat
Oh,
lasagna.
I have veggie.
Yep.
So I
There you
still
go.
won by one.
There you
1,
go.
2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I was getting worried because I know that you play this game, and I was worried that you were going to ask me like 50 Shades of Grey or 50 Shades of Gay, and then I would have to call it a draw.
Oh, I do like a little kink, Jess.
I'm sure.
Well, that was fun.
Absolutely, I love that.
All right, we have 2 questions that came in.
Oh,
Okay.
This one is from Joey from Point Pleasant, who says, "Do we have a specific type when looking for a partner?"
Well, yeah, it's usually the type that's not good for you.
Mhm.
Is usually what happens. Do you have a specific type? Some people do. And I say this in the aspect of there are people who know exactly what they want from a person. So it's not just about a specific type of person. Like I have a specific type of look. For
Okay.
example, the majority of people I've dated are hot blondes. However,
Mhm.
I've also dated everybody in every ethnicity, every hair color, every eye color, you name it. I am like the UN of dating women.
I love that.
But it just so happens that the women that I have been mostly in relationships with have managed to be hot and blonde.
Mhm.
Just
There you
works
go.
out that way. However, are they the specific person that I am looking for? Yes. And the reason why I say this is because I know exactly the type of relationship that I want. I want hot, fast. You're not going to move in with me, and probably in about 3 to 6 months, it'll probably be over.
Right.
That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for the settled down type.
Mhm.
So the people who are going to break most people's hearts are probably the people that I date.
Mhm.
So I think you do have a specific type of person that you're looking for. I think as far as looks, you do until you get to know them.
Right.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Now, I have a question for you, but don't
Yes.
you think that a lot has to do with media, what the media has fed you, and saying, "Oh, this is pretty," and don't you want to look like this, and all of that?
I think
Because rather than,
it did. I think it does more so when you're younger. Like when you
Yep.
get to be my
Right.
age, like in your
I
40s
agree.
and your age,
I
I think
agree.
it's different because like I could tell you, I look at the women I dated and yes, they were extremely attractive, but then again, I'm like, I'll take Lizzo out.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
take-
yeah.
Mhm.
You know, I'll take,
Yeah.
whoever because there's something about their attitude and their personality that I
Right.
am attracted
Right.
to.
That
You know what I
that's
mean?
where it shifted. And at a certain point, it
Yeah.
shifts over more to personality and who the person is and all of that.
Right.
But when we're younger, they're carrying the tradition on.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I was
Like,
going to say.
Yeah.
With the Instagrams.
Oh,
and
Yeah.
absolutely. Like there are
All
people that
body.
I
All
find
body.
attractive that I do not want to date, but I see them as being attractive.
Right.
Mhm.
Like I think that they're like a beautiful girl, or you might think of somebody as a handsome guy, but
Mhm.
they wouldn't necessarily be the person that you date. So it's a mix of things. It's a mix of the personality and the attitude. It's the mix
Mhm.
of whether you enjoy them. I think where people get mixed up is number one, there are 3 components. You have to know exactly who you are as a person.
Mhm. Right.
You have to know what type of person you are attracted to and their traits, but you
Mhm.
also have to know what type of relationship you want. And
Mhm.
that's where people get mismatched.
Right.
Right.
But see, like for me, I mean, I like race doesn't matter.
I don't care about that either.
I like Asian. I like white. I like Australian. I guess that just means hoe.
Wait, what did you call me at Nathan's, Ike? What did you call me at Nathan's? It wasn't a hoe.
No, I
And
would
it wasn't
never.
and it wasn't a slut. What did you call me? You called me something. I can't remember. I'll have to look back because I think it
I
was
don't
on
remember.
part of the bloopers on the show.
Oh, yeah?
You
We
called
have
me
to
something.
watch.
Was it a
She has it on tape.
yeah?
Well, you got to realize I was what, 5 kamikazes in at that
Yeah,
point?
you really were. Yeah, you and Nathan. I had to make dinner because
Yeah.
you guys were 2 sheets to the wind.
Yeah. And that's when you know, because I kept eating. I'm like,
Yeah, I think you ate like a raw cheeseburger at some point.
He didn't have time to
Yeah.
wait for it to get cooked.
Yeah,
Well, what are you going to do?
yeah.
I like my meat rare.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. But all right, second question. Let's do
Second
this.
question.
Yeah.
I think you may have answered this one. Lori from Asbury Park. Will there be another book?
Hey.
And will it be autobiographical?
Well, yes, there will be another book. I'm sure I have more than another book in me. Most of my books do tell personal stories, so in that case, it is autobiographical as far as my dating and relationships because I use those as examples. But the next book, like I said earlier, will be it's more of a I guess comparison regarding like your investment style, your financial style, and your dating style. Because a lot of times, like we say, oh, you're great with business, but bad at relationships, or you're great with money and bad at relationships, or you're great in relationships and you suck with money. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, all right, so what's not matching up here?
Okay.
Because if you look at it later, one of the biggest arguments that couples have is over money.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Very true.
Yeah. So it was interesting to do that. So I took it like financially in a basis, and I worked in finance for a while, like back in the day. So I understand the concept. So, we look at things like growth and value, but then you have things like options, which, I'm a risky person when it comes to my dating. So I would probably be a risky investor, which,
Right. That's interesting. That personality trait, how that comparison of that. That's
But then it's like, okay, so what's the other person? Do you need somebody who balances that? Do you need somebody who's the same as that? So it really was interesting. And like I said, I was supposed to get it out a couple years ago, but I just got so into all the research and putting the puzzle pieces together that, I had to take a little bit of time on that.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
That's so funny. And I definitely don't want to date somebody who's like me. That's for sure. I wouldn't want to. I want to find somebody the opposite of me, but still with a good personality. But I don't know. It's weird.
I like it to an extent. I'll tell you what I don't enjoy. I don't enjoy being dragged to things that I have no interest in.
Right.
Right.
And I have gone to a lot of things that I am not interested in.
But then let me ask you, then how does it feel if you're interested in something and they are not? And
I'm
really
still
want to have
going,
them
but
be
I
a
don't
part of
expect
it.
them to go with me.
No, you don't want to share that with them, right? It's
If they don't want to, I mean, I dated
Yeah.
like I was dating 2 girls at the same time, and neither one of them wanted to. I had to go to a thing in DC, right? It was a red carpet event in DC, and I was traveling with a friend of mine who used to be a journalist, so we do a lot of trips together. We went to Mardi Gras together, all that type of stuff. Like we have fun when we're out. So anyway, so the one girl I was dating, and I said, well, do you want to go? And she was like, nah, it's not really my thing. Like, I'm just gonna, stay home, whatever. And she, had her family here. And then the other girl who you think would like be up for a party and up for something glamorous and all this stuff, she was like, but you're gonna be around all these people and whatever. So the first girl like didn't bother me all weekend. She's like, you go have fun, do your job, do your interviews, do your show, whatever you need to do, have fun at the event. The other girl who said, no, I don't like being around crowds, and that's part of your job, and I don't want to bother you. And every 5 minutes during the whole entire trip, she was either calling me or texting me. And I'm like, come on. Like, I told you. She's like, but the Eagles are winning, and I just want you to know I love you, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, listen, you didn't want to come.
Yeah.
And she would have been fantastic in that situation. I said, but you didn't feel comfortable being in my world with what I have to do.
Right.
So that's okay. But you're blowing me up like you don't trust me, and
Right.
I'm doing my job.
Red
Like,
flag.
you know,
Yeah.
can't have it both ways. So
No.
so it's very hard to be in that situation.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh my God, Jess.
Wow, is it weird having you guys interview me now instead of the other way around?
I love it. You know, we could have probably went on a couple of more
Yeah.
episodes with this.
You probably found out a lot more about me that you probably didn't need to know.
Yeah, but no, and I'm so glad because number one, loving the fact that I didn't know you lived in Pittsburgh and Miami and those places I love. Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In your books, you're just so amazing, Jess, and I'm so glad that our paths crossed and that we're all connected here. And I can't wait to see you again.
I know, I love you guys. I know. Listen, 6 months. We got the pool ready. 6 months.
And we got to follow up with our thought process on doing a little reality.
Oh, we're doing it.
Reality show.
We're doing it.
Yeah, but Jess, tell everybody where they can find you.
Well, everybody can find me all over social media. You can either you can Google me, for God's sakes. There's I think 12 or 13 pages of me on Google or something like that. But you can go to obviously Facebook. Just look up Jess Branas. If you go to Instagram or Twitter, Instagram is going to be Drinks with Jess. Twitter is going to be Dwjphl because that's obviously the website address. Mm-hmm. And otherwise, you can find Drinks with Jess on every major platform: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, you name it. I am everywhere.
And we will be.
Oh, and YouTube.
YouTube, we can't forget.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, if you like to watch.
The most important, right? And we'll be putting up Sex with Jess, the recipe, up on the webpage when this is released this Saturday.
Love it. Guys, I miss you.
Jess.
Thank you so much for having me on.
You too. And Jess, this is the part where we wave goodbye.
Oh, love you, Jess.
Thank you,
Love
Jess.
you guys.
Love you.
Thank you.